Hi, I'm Avalon Starlight, and you are listening to the Rebel Unicorns podcast. This season, I'm super stoked because we are talking about something very near and dear to my heart, chakras, and how they can completely transform your life and your business. Listen each week as I share my own chakra experiences, as well as introducing you to incredible guests with their own chakra stories. Are you ready? Let's get our Rebel on. Oh yeah, Rebel Unicorns. It is time for the second floor of your energetic body, which is your sacral chakra. Now, this chakra is a power center. I'm going to call her she because I'm she if you're listening and you're male. There is a level of feminine energy that is held in this cauldron, in this area that is your pubis, your genitalia, all of our bits, all our sexual energy is stored and held in here. And it is significant, the force of creation that is held within this floor. Your sacral, I've always defined it as your sex and money chakra because it has the capacity to speak before you do, to support you in receiving, opportunities, clients, money, relationships with ease. However, oftentimes we don't lean into our sacral chakras to truly align with the power and the capability of what they can bring forth through us based on, it could be trauma, it could be, disconnection, it could be, gender shifting. There's a lot of ways in which we disconnect from our sacral chakras. Safety is in there as well. So you're looking at root chakra and now sacral having some sort of safety component to it in a little bit. For me, safety shows up in sacral more than in root chakra because, as we were talking, when I started to do these readings, and again, I'm basing it off what spirit taught me to utilize through business and having been in, it's got to be, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bodies to see the patterns that have come through. And, I was guided into three components of your sacral chakra. You have your sexual energy, you have sensual energy, and you have feminine energy, all held in this one beautiful cauldron of creation, which is your sacral chakra. So sexual energy, we think about sex and it's one phenomenal way to really truly tap into your sexual energy. But the thing about sexual energy is it's your attunement to your confidence and your attunement to not just the confidence of your product, your service, your stardust, which you're placing out into the world. There's a significance in the confidence that you hold in your physical body. Because if you feel really good about, your body just as it is, then you emit a frequency that's different than if you're questioning your body in any way, shape, or form. And so it's significant. I used to be a personal trainer for 10 years and, I could watch somebody have the best week of their lives. They feel really good. They were on point. They were exercising because it felt good and they were eating really clean. And there's this resonance of energy that, they would come into the office with. And at the time I was working for a gym and it was mandatory during certain programs that we were in that they would be weighed, which I don't believe in, by the way. I don't think it matters what the scale says. It matters how we feel. But during the time that I was working under a company that these were mandatory rules, I'd watch these magical experiences and significant changes happening in these humans. And then they'd step on the scale. And if it didn't read a different number than what they were anticipating, it was like the work was lost and you could see them shrink before your very eyes. And, that's a lot to do with the sacral, with this sexual energy. I truly believe that when we are up in the cosmos, We are planning what our next level of experience on this earth is, and we know, what we are here to learn before our enlightenment. And so we choose the physical body that we're in. We choose it to be in the service of the people we're here to serve. And that means that you chose this body and it's perfect. It's perfect just the way it is, because the right people are going to be connected to it, attracted to it, feel vibrationally aligned with exactly how you look in order for you to be able to support them. Right? Because it's all energetic here. It's all simply energetic. And we fixate based on these social statuses about how we're supposed to look. I can tell you, you listening right now, you are perfect. Your body is fucking beautiful. You're handsome as fuck. And if you loved yourself as much as I am sincerely loving on your physical body right now, you can even feel that shift in vibrational frequency in your sexual energy, just receiving this as a truth. If you truly let that sink in without your ego getting a hold of it and be like, yes, I am in this body to be in service. Oh, and I did choose it. I chose it so that the right people would be attracted to me, and it doesn't need to be anything different. When you align in that sexual energy of the confidence of your being, your body, your service, it is as if like a light has been turned on. And I always explain when your sexual energy is on, even when you're in your sweatpants and you're in the grocery store with a hat and it's pulled down and there's 4 people in the aisle with you. Somebody could come down that aisle and be looking for something, but because you're exuding this like charge of energy, this turn on, right? You're turned on to your message, you're turned on to your service, you're turned on. They will approach you and they would say, hey, can you tell me if you know where the beans are in this aisle or something? And you're just like, why are you talking to me? But it's because you're turned on. That's sexual energy. And the thing is like, it doesn't have to be about what we wear. It is simply a frequency. It's just a frequency of choosing. It's choosing yourself as the messenger, as the body, as the alignment to your service. As you can tell, it's firing me up right now, because that's where creation comes from. Like if you're questioning what you're putting together for your community, and is this the right thing? Is this the right lead gen? Is it the right, what if, it's not perfect? What if all these things? Then you can feel just in the conversation I'm having there that it just pulls the energy down, right? So sexual energy is like, yes, they're going to love this. This is going to be so good. And, it was like, I put myself in a different energy before recording this podcast, because I was like, what do I need to do to show up to record the Sacral Chakra, like podcast episode? So I pulled out my desire list. Like I have a list of everything that I want this year. And I read through it, being picked up by a publisher, the Coven is $1 million business. I looked at, moving to Euclid, visiting Glastonbury, like all these things. And I aligned myself frequently to that desire, to that like truth. And I was like, yeah, I got myself charged up to come in here. So, when you're misaligned at the level of your sexual energy, because as you can see, this is about being fully seen, right? Like if you're turned on and you're charged up, you can walk into a room and people are going to look at you simply because it's vibration. So if you're misaligned here, then you're going to be pulling back. You're going to want to hide. You're not going to want to be seen. You'll, show up to Zoom with your Zoom off. You won't have a picture of yourself as your Facebook profile picture will be of your pet or a plant or an animal, but it won't be of you because there's a level of not wanting to be seen. So that's how you'll know that it's not in alignment here, or that you'll go out and you'll be around people and, you can say, oh, I was there. And they'll be like, you were there? I didn't see you, because you're choosing not to be seen. You're pulling away from, I call it hiding as one of the, that's how you're in out of alignment in your sacral chakra. And so we have the other part of the sacral, which is sensual energy. Now, I just love that word sensual so much. I mean, I am a empath and a highly sensitive person. And I'm a Libra. I'm super romantic. And so sensuality is like, I want to be able to feel and see and sense and touch and all of this. I just want all the textures in my life. And so the way that we experience that level of sensuality is we have to be in the present moment. We have to be in the present moment to experience that level of presence. Present in the present. You know what I'm saying? And so if you are not aligned in this part of your sacral, like if you're finding yourself always thinking ahead to the next thing, right? Like you could be on a call with somebody, you could even be on a sales call, you could be on a clarity call, you could be working with your coach, you could be working with a client, you could be talking to your partner, but you're already thinking about what's next, right? Like you're already like thinking about the groceries and how many things are on your to-do list and what am I doing after this? And do the kids have, any extracurricular sports and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the minute this happens, it pulls you ahead of the present moment. You're living in a future that doesn't exist yet, right? Like you're just already planning it, you're existing there. And so you lose being here, right here, listening to the podcast right now with me. Are you with me? Are you with me? Is your sacral on? Hello? Hello? So sensual energy is if you're getting ahead of the present moment, you're out of alignment. And the other piece is if you're pulling back. And often that can present as, thinking about the past, being sad, because when we are focused on what we didn't do or what we didn't achieve, and you're constantly looking backwards on things that have already happened, it draws you away from the present moment just as significantly. I mean, the idea here is that once something has happened, we collect the data on it, right? We say, oh, what worked well, what didn't work well, and how can we make it better for next time? And those three simple things are significant because you didn't say, what did we do wrong? It's like, what did we do well? We start with that. What could we do different or better? Because it was already good, but what we could do better? And what are we going to do for next time? And you allow yourself to receive the data and the information of what has already happened and then move yourself back into the present. Because I don't know how many times, and even this happened with me, that I would have sales calls or I would do something in my business and then I would think about it and I'd think about it and I'd think about it and I'd question if I did it differently and how could I and I'd carry it around for days and days. And then eventually I'd be like, whoa, what day is it? What just happened? Because I was so focused on something that had already occurred. So that's being behind the present moment. So, I mean, what's great about sensual energy is we can choose it in it just right like that. Like that snap sound brought you back to the present moment. Then that's as quickly as we can come back into a state of being with the person that we're connecting to. And these moments, guys, them. It's like when you're talking to somebody or you're speaking from stage or you're recording a podcast episode and everything is in flow and everything is in alignment and the rest of the world disappears and this is it. And that's when your sensual energy and your sacral is turned on, tapped in, and you are in the full embodiment of the plethora of the experience, meaning you're experiencing everything fully. It's like you can almost taste the air. That's how good it feels right now, right? And then you have the feminine energy of your sacral. And your sacral and the feminine energy is that there is a softness to this world that we weren't taught. We've always been kind of taught this sense of individualization and separation. You got to keep it together. Don't cry. This hardness. And so we become really controlling of life and situations and our businesses and our kids, and we manage and we micromanage and then we micromanage, and there's a level of disassociation from the ease and the flow of the divine feminine that runs through you. And what that simply means, if I were to just put it through the filter to one statement, it would be that when you are aligned in your feminine energy, then you realize that you are nurtured and cared for at all times and in all ways. And in that knowing, you can release control to the divine feminine and allow yourself to be held in her nurturing embrace and trust that she's got it for you. That you can just rest your weary head sometimes in her lap. Simply lay that head down and the divine feminine will play with your hair. And you give up control to her. And you soften into the moments. It's okay. It's okay if we don't get everything on the checklist done. It's okay if our partners pack lunches with multiple snacks and no sandwich. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? We release the understanding. We know that our team will never do it quite like we will, but we're willing to let them stand in their strength and trust that what they're doing, they still have our best interests at hand. And so it doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be the way that we do it, but that they're doing their best work and it's beautiful and it's perfect and we can let it go. Feel yourself soften to that. Right? And so when we can align this confidence and this presence and this ability to soften and release control, then we become this like source of like fluidity and flow and charge not in like charging you, but more in a charge of like, I can be in this restful, active state. So that's a thing, a restful, active state. I'm taking inspired action, but it's not urgent. It's like from a space of knowing. It's from a space of groundedness. It's from a space of that sensuality of being here, calling through magneticism my clients to me because I'm in the attraction zone. I'm so confident that I can support them. I'm so confident in the results that I get when we're working together that I don't need to convince them. I can sit back in this knowing, and just attract them, right? And this is the frequency. And this is why sacral is about money as well. Because if you're hiding, if you're, afraid, or you're ahead or behind the moments and, you've got to be in hyper control, that's a chasing energy for your clients. And so we can't figure out why we can't make money from that space, right? But when you sit back into your sacral and you really tap into your sexual energy from this space of calling in your soul clients because you are so confident in the results that you're getting. And I mean, you can be confident in your results before you even have your first client because you know you have lived this life and you have gone through what you have gone through and you have done your research to know that you are the one to support these people. Every entrepreneur has their first sale. Every entrepreneur has their first client and every entrepreneur has their first experience of, getting to the end of you buying a product or a service and being like, that was fucking amazing, but you believe it before it happens. There's a lot of that happening when we go into the preferred reality, is that the money is there so you can sit back and just allow yourself to attract the soul client and not chase the wrong ones. And that's attraction energy that happens through the sacral and through your confidence and being in that sensual presence and not having to hyper micromanage in order to make that happen, but trusting that it is already coming to you and through you through the divine. And so you just need to turn that sacral up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I want to be more seen, more seen, more seen, so that everybody in the world knows the name Avalon Starlight. And, there's that. Let me turn my sacral up as I'm talking to you guys right now so you can feel the energy of just being like, yeah, I want what she's offering right now. For those who are energetic, I hope you feel the turn on that I'm working on right now. Just to give you an example of it's energetic. Oh God, I love the sacral chakra. I worked on sacral in 2020. it was I gave a full year to really embody it. So I feel really fucking turned on and tuned into this vibration speaking to you about it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to hear how your sacral is feeling after this episode. I'm excited to share with you Cynthia Kane coming up this week. And Cynthia's story is, when I met her, she is the embodiment of sacral energy. Like, she was so attuned to the frequency of her body until she had her children. And it was when her children were born that she lost touch with this part of her, right? Like, that's a big deal. You kind of give your womb away. And so her story is coming back into her sacral and allowing herself to feel those natural rhythms again. And, there's the story of how important dance is to her in her days and in her life, in connecting and activating this chakra. And we get to share her experience of being out of alignment in her sacral and how she brought herself back to alignment and what that's looked like in physical form in her preferred reality. So I'm super excited to share Cynthia Kane with you next week. So make sure you tune in. It's a divine episode that you're not going to want to miss. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. And so we'll talk to you in the next episode. Wow, that episode was mind-blowing. I hope you had as many ahas listening to it as I had recording it. I would love to see the Rebel Unicorns podcast spread far and wide across the globe, across the universe. So if you want to share it on your social media with something that you found impactful, leave a review, send it to a friend. It would be so deeply appreciated. Also, a little side note, I did recently change my name. I downloaded a year and a half ago that my name was Avalon Starlight. It was previously my birth name was Tamara Arnold. And if you're interested in learning what your Rebel Unicorn house is, there's a quiz for that. Think Harry Potter, except you're sorted into how you are impacting the world with your stardust and what energy you're here to shift and change. You can find out your Rebel Unicorn house at www.tamaraarnold.ca/quiz. Let me know, tag me in social media, send the quiz out, and join the Rebel Unicorns Facebook group to be in a community of like-minded spiritual entrepreneurs who understand that when you shift your energy, you transform your business.